so I can't figure out the time zone.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're going to go ahead and pick up where we left off last week. When we began our sessions in the world of Yalatan, our adventurers met up in a tavern as Homer was new to the town, but the party quickly convened and engaged in a session of rat murder. Two types, actually. The first type were actual rats in the bottom of the Wyvern's Tail, which is the bar slash tavern that they're staying in, and the second one was a group of thugs known as the Rats, who ambushed a local runner for the little village of Sevanti, and they kind of beat the hell out of him. So these guys went and they got a little bit roughed up in the process, but they took care of the bandits just fine, brought back the supplies to the bar, and after a particularly rough night of fighting, basically, these guys chose to settle down in the pub for the evening. And as we come into the campaign, it is the next morning at approximately 8 a.m. when you guys wake up. I'm guessing, are you guys getting up at 8 o'clock?
Yeah. I see Homer's already at the table, so I go join him at the table and sit down.
Okay. And, Torvok, what about you?
I'm a little hungover. I stumble over.
Okay, so in the process of walking through the rooms, because the way the rooms are set up is that there's a door that leads into the room adjacent to you on the sides. So, for instance, Torvok can't wander into Paul's room unless he walks through Homer's.
Okay.
So, like, there's doors. So it's like, for instance, there's like a door. Just so you guys can get a better picture of it, it's a little hard to show it. There's like a door here that leads into this room, and then there's a door here that leads into this room. But there are no doors on these walls that allow you to enter in from like room to room here. But from room to room here, there is.
Gotcha.
So as Torvok kind of wanders through his room and out to join you at the table, Torvok, you notice that Tia is not in her quarters.
Noted.
Okay, do you choose to share this information with the party?
I assume she's doing elf things, because elves are elves.
Okay, then. So, Homer, you've been sitting at the table this morning. What are you up to?
I've been, fondling a coin.
Okay. Do they see you fondling the coin?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see him fondling the coin and ask, "What do you think you're doing?"
I'm just like, where'd you get
Thinking
the coin
about
from?
money.
Is that all you ever think about?
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Must be a lonely existence.
It didn't used to be.
Okay, I choose to ignore that comment and just kind of put my head on the table and try to get a little nap before we obviously have to go.
Question real quick, is there coffee in Yalaton?
There is coffee in Yalaton, but there is no food available in your room.
Okay.
So if you guys want to eat, you guys got to go downstairs.
Well, I need my morning coffee, so I'm going down to the tavern for it.
Okay.
I'm joining Paul.
I don't know where the stairs are, so lead the way, Torvok. Alright, fair enough.
Alright.
I go down the stairs.
Okay. Is Homer going with?
Yeah, I followed them.
Wonderful.
Poser.
While the three of you head down the stairs, the barkeep Len says, "Morning, but surprisingly enough, you aren't the first people here. And there is somebody that you can't really make out who it is at first because, you know, you're all still a little bit tired, but when you kind of rub your eyes, you realize that this is a person from each of your pasts."
And I thought I was the alcoholic. He's here at freaking 8 a.m.
So, at this point, what do you do?
I mutter under my breath, looks familiar, but first I need my coffee. So I go and say, "Just one coffee, black."
Very well, and he begins to prepare it for you.
I yell out, "Give me one too," because hungover.
He says, "I can do that. I can also English." Or common, rather. And he looks over to the, he looks over to Homer. "And you?"
Meat.
Alright.
Cheapest meat.
I mutter under my breath, fucking dragons.
I just snortle or whatever.
So he kind
Whatever
of
the word is.
he walks to the back, pulls out some meat and tosses it onto a small burning stove that he has, and he kind of calls between between Baron and Homer. And you, what do you have? You haven't said a word since you walked in here.
I will. Actually, you know what? Let me change something quick. Out of settings.
Okay.
What are these settings you speak of?
I'm turning off push to talk because otherwise it'll be weird. I walk over to the bar. Click and drag.
Yeah, you just grab and drag.
Okay. I walk over to the bar and sit down next to Baron, giving him a small nod of recognition, and I tell the bartender that I will also have some meat.
Alright. Len walks to the back, retrieves more, and tosses it onto the small stove. As he walks over, he continues to, he grabs a couple of mugs, pours the coffee, and kind of slides it to Baron and to Torvok, saying, "You know this man, you know these people."
Yeah. Oh, who is he talking to? I'm sorry.
He was speaking to Baron he was speaking to you while he was sliding the coffee to the two of them.
Okay.
So he was speaking to you.
Yes, I do. Me and Baron were involved in a job that went south, and by the way, is
Let's
continuing.
just straight up say the bonds right out.
Ah, fuck off. Is continuing to decline for us.
Len kind of leans in and says, "Huh. Well, don't get me involved."
I
I
nod.
didn't plan on it.
I nod and just say to him, "It's better you don't."
He says, "Well, I'll continue to go on my merry way then."
Did we
And
get our
he-
coffee yet?
Yeah, he was when he
Okay.
asked Root. He asked Root, "Do you know these people?" As he slid the coffee to the pair of you. So you guys have your coffee.
Good. I drink it with a sigh of relief.
Yeah, I'm with him. I do the same thing.
All right. He continues to he finishes cooking up the meat, pulls out a couple of plates, and he slices it up, puts it on the plates, and then slides it to the two of you, to Root and to Homer. He then turns to Homer and he says, "Well, it seems like these people have some past with this one here. How about you?"
Don't recognize him.
All right then. Doesn't surprise me much. After all, you were the new one in the town before she showed up.
Yep.
So he kind of, he walks over and he says, "So, what are your plans for this day?"
Lauren!
Wait,
What?
What?
Where's Lauren?
Oh.
I can't-
Oh, all I
can't
heard was
understand what you-
Lauren. The first few and most important letters of that word went missing.
I mean, I assumed you were yelling DeLorean, but I,
Whoa. Oh my goodness. Now we're going out of universe. You're out of character. We're gonna talk about shit that doesn't exist.
okay, but was that aimed at me or still at Homer?
Aimed at the majority of the group, pretty much aimed at everybody at this point. He's like, "Well, what are your plans?" Because he's gonna go ahead and assume, because there's some degree of a past between, that they're probably just gonna fold in. This person's just gonna fold in with the rest of them.
I actually came to the tavern because I heard that Baron was here, and I wanted to speak to him about our job in the past.
That was a long time ago. I don't want to bring it up.
The couple of people who have already brought it up with me implies that I should probably bring it up with you.
Let them come speak to me themselves, and I'll cut their tongue out.
Fair enough. I won't stop you. I also won't save you.
I don't really like you, Root.
I put an
Len
arm.
just kind of goes on his merry way, just cleaning the countertops. And...
I put my arm around Baron. Yeah, you're not a real friend like me.
And I move back to Root. Actually, I could do worse.
Oh my gosh.
You weren't like that last night.
Out of
Whoa.
character, I'm gonna punch you in the face.
Oh my god.
I get a refill on coffee and sit at this table over here
Alright.
and
So-
cry.
So while refilling the coffee and stuff, Xander walks in.
Oh, this motherfucker. That was out of character.
And Len kind of says, he says, good morning, Xander. How's Rain doing? He fills the coffee and kind of puts it back on the table for Torvok. He says, well, he's doing okay, but, you know, he's not doing the best as of right now. He's still a little bit beat up from the other day, and he's got some work that needs to be done at the stables, but unfortunately, I've actually got a family emergency over in the other village that I need to attend to. So I was hoping if I could possibly get some help, and he starts looking around the tavern at the four of you.
I slam down my empty cup and say, what do you need?
He says, well, the problem is that it's nothing too crazy, but the trouble is that his wife and him have been on the outs for a while, so she can't exactly take care of him. It's nothing like, you know, having to like caretake after an old person, but
Dealing with
He's-
wenches isn't my problem. Fill up the cup again.
he says, I'm not asking you to get them back together. I'm asking you to at least get him the stuff so that way he doesn't have to work for the next couple of days on trying to take care of himself when he can barely get around the house.
I see.
What's the pay?
He
The
says,
pay is adventure. I'll
he
take
says, well, I can pay each of you... Well, wait, how much did you get paid for the rats? Dealing with them.
it. 1 billion gold. Don't tell him otherwise, guys.
He heard the
yeah,
second
a
part of
billion gold.
that. He heard the don't tell him otherwise, which leads him to believe that the pay amount was different. So if you could bluff check maybe he might change his mind.
What's the bluff check?
The bluff check for you, Sorvok,
6?
is 1d20 plus 6, correct.
You better not fuck this up. I want 1 billion gold.
Or 1d20
Plus
plus
6.
6.
Damn it.
He says, well, I can't give you 1 billion gold, but I can give each of you... He kind of rifles through his little satchel that he has. He says, I can give you 15 apiece.
Okay, the coffee starts to kick in, and I say, alright, let's go. We should probably help him anyway. That's kind of what we're here for, I guess.
Alright, so you go, does the rest of the party follow?
Yep.
I mutter under my breath. Fine, I guess I'll do it.
It's like
Fair
some
price.
kid or something.
Fine, I guess I'll do it. Alright, so the group of you head to Rain's. And Marcus led the way, so he's already there. And you can see that Rain... There's definitely something up with him. He gets up and starts trying to walk around the place. And you can see him, he is struggling fairly mightily to get around, even with his walking stick, which, as you can now actually see, is actually a gigantic pickaxe.
I offer to help him around.
He says, thanks. He says, I need to get up to my bedroom.
Alright, I put an arm around him and help carry him. 'Cause I'm
Okay.
a nice guy.
Alright, so I'm just gonna go ahead and move the two of you in unison like that.
Oh, that's sweet.
I put my feet up
No.
on the table.
He says, when he kind of shifts in front of you, you kind of stand behind him to support him as he goes up the stairs. He kind of shouts to Marcus. He says, make sure that the list on the table gets done. I don't care what it takes, but get it done. He says, alright. So you continue to help him up the stairs. And his room is not far away from the stairs, so you kind of go, you get him in his bed, and you just kind of leave him there for the time being, and he falls asleep. So, you come on back down the stairs, and Xander leaves a piece of paper on the table for you guys, and he says, well, I must be off. Thank you so much for your help.
I pick
And
up
so
the
he
list
leaves.
and take a look at it.
Okay. So the list has a few things that need to be done. His fireplace is not lit at the moment because the weather isn't bad, but at nighttime it gets cold. So you'll need to gather and chop firewood for him for a few days worth of time. Next, you'll need to collect Rain's payment, as somebody owes Rain money and he needs it for medicine and supplies. This third one is written in a different script. It's not written by Rain. It looks like it's actually written by somebody else, which you can imply to be Xander. It says, find Rain medicine and get him medical attention, because you can obviously tell he's not doing so well. He was having a real hard time walking, and he didn't look so good. Afterwards, the next one is drop off roses at the inn, and there's actually a vase of roses sitting on the table. So,
Okay.
and then the last thing that it says in there is that you guys need to clean the horses' stables because they haven't been done in quite some time.
Nose goes. Put my finger on my nose for the horse thing.
So these are the things that need to be done.
All right.
Dibs on anything but the
I guess we should
horses.
split this up accordingly so we can get these done faster.
I should go on collection duty. That's within my skill set.
Okay.
I'll deliver the roses.
All right.
Do you think you can stumble over there
Pretty sure.
without dropping any of the roses?
We're about to find out.
Okay, so you two are gonna go after that one.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the other two are the other, because there's 3 tasks and 2 people left.
Okay.
We
So-
needed to get money, get medicine, and clean the stables.
Money,
And fuck
medicine.
bitches.
So there's gathering and chopping. So of the jobs that were not taken, gathering and chopping wood, get medicine, and clean the stables. But you can't get the medicine until you get the money.
Right.
Well, how much is the medicine?
You're not sure because you have to, first of all, you need to find a medical merchant.
Hmm.
You need to find someone who is willing to sell you the stuff that you'd be able to do so you can actually take care of Rain himself.
Gotcha.
Well, I can chop the wood.
I kind of think
Okay.
the new guy should pick up the shit.
The who?
The new guy.
Or it could be something that perhaps all of you work on.
Or it could be the new guy.
Well, I mean, you may divvy up your task as you see fit, because the way we're going to break this up is I'm going to have you guys roll for me flat 1d20s, and we're going to role-play your scenes out individually, since you all decided to split up.
Oh, I see.
Alright.
I guess
So,
I'll go
I know
get
we
the
have-
money or whatever.
So, are you going with Homer then to go get the money? Because he said that was what he was going to go do.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's what he's good. Actually,
Yeah.
you know
So
what?
right now-
Yeah, I am, because I saw how he was fondling that coin. I don't trust him with money alone.
Okay. Okay. So, you two are going to go get the money. Torvok is going to go drop off the roses, and Root is going to take care of the wood.
As he does.
Okay. So what I'm gonna have you guys do then is I would like.
Character's actually a chick, by the way.
I was talking
Okay.
about you,
Just
out
say-
of character.
Oh. Oh.
So, oh my gosh. Okay, so here's how I want this done. Between you and Homer, Baron,
Yes.
one of you two is gonna roll a 1d20, and
Okay.
then I would like Root and Torvok to roll one themselves as well.
Why don't you go ahead, Homer?
All right.
Okay, so I'm looking for rolls from Homer, Root, and Torvok, and this is just a flat 1d20.
Ooh, excuse me.
Okay, so Torvok and Homer, I need you to roll again.
Is this like initiative for which part we do first?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so the order that it's going to be is it's going to be Root, Homer and Baron, and Torvok.
Okay.
So that's kind of the initiative order in the scenes order that which we're going to roleplay them. So we're going to start off with Root. So Root, so just to be clear for you guys, this is considered a skill challenge. There are specific skills that will work well for these challenges, and you can use whatever skill that you want. However, using a specific skill will carry a difficulty check. So, like, for instance, some challenges may be geared towards other skills, and you may have easier times trying to use those skills in them. But if they're harder, then you may have a harder difficulty check to have to beat to do them. So, that's kind of how we are doing this one. Okay? Do you have any questions?
Nope, it'll make sense, I think, once we do it.
Yeah,
Alright.
we'll get there.
So, Root, you know from being in the surrounding area that a good source of wood is around the area of the Bursa Woods, but you're not entirely sure exactly how good the quality is out there. So you go to the Bursa Woods. What do you do?
I guess a perception check.
Okay, go ahead and give me a perception check then.
And how will I be applying that?
That would be, well, I mean, as in like the roll, or as in like how
Yeah,
would you
like
be
how-
using your perception?
Well, how do I like type it out? Yeah.
The roll would be for you are 1d20 plus 10. You find out your perception check by going to your skill table and handouts.
Okay. I just
And-
wasn't sure.
yeah.
Do I put the 10? Is that all one thing, or is there spaces?
Are 1d20 plus 10.
I don't think you need spaces.
Okay.
Okay, so you get to the area and you can see that there's decent enough wood there for chopping and at least being able to turn it into firewood to maintain a fireplace for the next few days.
Okay. Gonna go start chopping away then.
All right, I would like for you to give me an athletics check.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oof.
You're gonna be here a while. Because the wood is basically perfect for maintaining in a fireplace. It's nice, it's strong, it's thick, so it'll burn for a long time, but it's also gonna take you a very long time to cut enough of this wood. So it will probably take you probably about a good 45 minutes to an hour to chop through this first tree.
Big hardwood.
So while you're doing that, we're gonna go ahead and go on over to Baron and Homer. I'm sorry I don't have more creative maps for this. For like, well,
That works.
instead of trying to bounce around between like 4 or 5 different maps, I guess what we could do is I could kind of show you guys, like this is what the Bursa Woods is.
Mhm.
So nothing really all crazy fancy about it, but it is just like a kind of a forest basically, so you guys can see. Bursa Woods, ooh, fancy trees. And that is
They're
where
beautiful.
Root is right now. If we go back to okay, hang on. You're going to witness something that you oh wait, I can just go back to Reigns. Perfect. So this is something you're going to notice that happens in the future. It's what I call loading screens. It's when you have too many maps and you have to go between multiple maps to get to the one you guys really need to get to.
Mhm.
So Baron and Homer, you guys head outside of Rain's house, armed with the equipment that there's a gentleman that owes Rain money,
All right.
and that he is known to frequent the bakery in town, Beckett's.
Do we know where the bakery is?
You can roll a streetwise check to see if you know.
You can also smell for it, probably, if that's a thing.
Or you could also do perception for smell, actually. Yeah, I would allow that.
Whichever
So-
ones y'all have better.
Yep, so you can do perception, you can do streetwise. Either one is fine here.
I'll roll
I'll do-
streetwise, I guess.
Yeah, streetwise.
Okay, two of you guys rolling streetwise. Go for it.
And my streetwise is +2. Oof.
Not so great on that. Not really able to get anybody's attention.
Well, I can't seem to find it. What about you, Homer? Oh, there we go.
Well, Homer is able to pull aside someone off of the street, and they say, "Hey, are you looking for something?"
Yeah, what's the guy's name again that we're looking for? Do we know his name?
You don't know his name, but you know the name of the place that he frequents is called Beckett's.
Alright. We're looking for Beckett's. You know where we can find it?
Oh, yeah, the bakery over here. And they motion to this building right here.
Gotcha. Thank you.
You say, "No problem," and the little kid kind of scampers off.
All right, I follow behind Homer.
Alright, so the two of you guys go inside of Beckett's, and inside there, it is a worker, you don't know her name, and then you also see a large man who is tending to the baking. And he welcomes the two of you. "Welcome! How can I help you?"
I nudge
we're
Homer.
looking-
Come on.
We're looking for someone who owes Rain money.
Well, I don't know of many people who don't owe Rain money. Let's put it that way. But, do you have any physical descriptions of him at all, or anything of the sort?
Well, all we
Again.
got was a note saying to get money for Rain, so that's why we're here.
Kinda
Okay.
half-assed, guys.
But you do say that you know he frequents the place, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, we are about to open up our ovens for another fresh group of loaves. It's quite possible if you wait here, you might run into him.
Okay,
Got no
that'll
other
have
leads,
to
so...
Alright, so the two of you guys choose to stick around then for a little bit.
Yep.
In the meantime, while you're waiting for this one, we're going to go ahead and dip over to Torvok's situation here. So Torvok, back at Rains, where you are the only one in the building, you have... there was a second note that was left behind specifically to be delivered with the roses.
I read the note.
It is a note from Rain begging his wife for forgiveness. He apologized for going out on his dangerous job, and he expects to, hopefully, within the next couple of months, have enough earned from his jobs and other income sources that he will be able to retire and that they will be able to live off the land.
I scoff at the letter. I'm like, wow. That guy is really hopeful of something he probably won't be able to do. But I take the note and I go outside and I look for the taken to the hospital, right?
You're supposed to be dropping them off at the inn.
The inn. Okay, I apologize.
Alright, so you guys
yeah.
were staying actually at the inn. The inn is the upper floor of the Wyvern's Tail. So you head back, and you don't really notice anybody in here, except for Len. And he kind of asks, "Oh, for me?" You're holding the note and the roses in your hand.
I yell, hell no. It's for, Rains? That's his name, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rain's wife.
I
I got him for her.
You got them for her.
I say with a smirk on my face.
Is that right?
That's what I'm
He-
saying.
He says, all right. She's very particular about visitors and what have you, but if it's a delivery, sure, we can make this interesting. I'll tell you what room she's in, but I'll make a friendly little wager with you.
I'm listening.
5 gold that you can't get in and out of her room before she smacks you upside the face.
How much gold do I have?
You have enough to cover the bet.
But how much do I have?
I don't know. You gotta be keeping track of that.
Oh shit.
It's in your inventory.
Inventory.
On your bio info.
Your inventory will be under,
Yeah, I got it. 35 gold.
pieces.
Okay, I'll take that wager.
Okay, so 5. So he places his 5 gold on the table, and he says, "This is yours if you can get past her without getting smacked in the face. But she gets you, and I expect payment, boy."
Back in the face, you say. I take that wager.
All right. He gives you her room number, and at this point, you may go ahead.
69?
It is actually 4 doors down and on the other side of the hall from where you guys were staying.
All right. I walk up over to the room and I knock on the door very pleasantly, I guess.
No one is there, but the door is unlocked. If you would like to, you may make a stealth check to enter.
All right, I'll do that.
Okay.
D20.
For you
Plus
is going
4.
to be a
Plu-
1d20 plus your, whatever your
Yeah.
bonus is for that. So it would be plus 4 then? Well, you go into the room at first, and you don't necessarily hear anything or see anybody. What do you do?
What's the layout of the room?
It's similar to yours, except there is only one bed in the room, and it is clearly meant for solo occupancy, as opposed to yours that's been split up for quads.
Does it have that living room area, like with the table and the fireplace?
It actually does not. It does, but it's not separated off from the bedroom because there's only one bed in the room. So this is meant for like 1 or 2 people to be staying in, as opposed to your room, which is meant for multiple occupants that are in a party, so to speak.
All right.
Almost like a family.
Is there a couch as well?
Oh, there is, yeah.
Okay, cool. I put the flowers on the couch. I have the letter in my pocket.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, did I sit on the couch? I put it on the table and I sit on the couch.
You put. Oh. Okay. Would you like to make another stealth check for me then?
Sure. I'm afraid of this one. Ooh,
Oh, okay. So you stealthily move toward you through the room, placing the. You hear your sheep. You put the roses on the table. You have the letter in your pocket. You're hanging out on the couch, and you're just kind of sitting in the room, and you hear the shower turn off. What do you do?
I sit there patiently waiting.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and dip back over to Root at this point here. Root, you have successfully, after much hard labor, you have managed to chop through your first tree. And just as a heads up, this is a loading screen. We are not going to them. Okay, so you've managed to chop down your first tree. If you could go ahead and give me a, we'll say an athletics check to see how much usable firewood you can get out of this tree.
Sure.
Actually, no, nature check for this one. Nature check.
Nature? Alright.
Nature, yeah. Well, because strength cuts down the tree. Nature says how good it is.
If I'm trained, it takes that in. The number takes that into account already.
Correct.
Right?
The number that is
Okay.
listed on the stat sheet is the number that you roll if I ask for a training check. Okay, there you go. So you can tell that the tree probably has enough wood to sustain for 2 or 3 days. So maybe if you find another smaller tree, you might want to chop that down too.
Okay. I'll go find a smaller tree then.
Okay, go ahead and
Cut
give me an
down.
athletics check for that one.
Okay.
This one you are chomping down the tree.
I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay.
Okay, so this one wasn't as, like, big as the other one, so as a result it wasn't nearly as hard to chop down and take care of. And you can tell you're going to be here for a little while longer because now you just kind of have to split the wood into the different, like, for firewood. But you've chopped down all the trees that you need to for that. So if you could, go ahead and roll me one more athletics check. Now you get to split it and everything. Okay. You're probably going to be here probably about another couple hours unless somebody comes to assist you. So, but that's kind of it. Do you do anything out here? Because, I mean, you are out here alone, kind of in the woods, nature, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Aside from enjoying it, no. I just continue with my task.
Okay. Then while you are continuing doing that, we are going to head back to Beckett's. About an hour has passed in the bakery. Marcus, as well as his daughter, Jess, have offered you some pastries and such while you wait for this fine gentleman.
Ooh, pastries.
That was the most dwarfy thing I've heard in a long time. They said replace pastries with ale, and it might be more dwarfy.
Get that Scottish accent going.
Ooh, pastries!
So we've been waiting for about an hour.
You've been waiting for about an hour, and so they kind of ask, so you were the one who took care of the rats, were you?
I nod
They're
while
referring, of course,
chomping.
to the... They, of course, are referring to the street gang. They have no idea of the stuff that
tavern.
happened beneath the bar. Correct. So they're referring to the street gang.
I just nod while chomping on my pastry.
They're very impressive. They've been giving us a lot of trouble for a while. Hopefully that'll send the message to them and they won't come back any longer.
Can I do a perception check to just see if there's anything fishy about this place? Like why there might be money
may.
owing? Okay.
Sure.
It's kind of weird that we would go to a pastry place to collect money for a dude, so...
The pastry is made of people.
So...
Oh, God.
20... Perception's 3. And I don't see anything but a pastry
Well,
bar.
you don't necessarily see anything, but you're also not inclined to believe that this is a front for anything at all.
Mhm.
This place seems like a genuinely decent enough pastry shop. I mean, everything is pretty much out here in the open. You see all the baking supplies, you see the fresh ovens, you smell the fresh baking bread. So Marcus walks out from behind the counter through the magic of Hollywood. There's no door right there, and he starts walking over towards the oven, and as he does, a man enters and says, "About that time again, ain't it?"
Sorry.
And he says, yeah, I'm working on it, Rikus. He goes over and starts ambling over to the oven, and he starts opening it up and starts taking the things out. So, and Rikus kind of docks him like, fairly close behind him. And Marcus, kind of through the magic of Hollywood, goes back through the counter, starts laying the breads and stuff on the counter, and starts chopping them. So so Rikus kind of looks over at Baron and says, "Well, what are you looking at?"
I just look over at him and say, pastries.
He says, "Ha, you're pretty good."
I ask the woman over there who that guy is.
She says, "It's Rikus. He's kind of an annoying individual."
Do I
Takes
overhear
it-
this?
If you would like to make a perception check to see if you hear.
Yeah, because that went well before, so let's do it again.
Well, you can't do worse. Think of it that way.
Okay.
Okay, so you can kind of hear this. She says, he's kind of been an annoying pain for us lately. He's been taking advantage of the owner, and he's kind of been asking us to put these breads and stuff on a tab and always promising to pay us later.
He comes here often.
Says, "Yep, at least 6 to 8 times a week.
I walk over to
Gotcha.
him and say, "Hail, friend. What are you here
He says,
for?"
yeah. He says, well, I'm here for my pastries, of course. I can't pay for them, but Marcus here has my back, don't ya? Kind of with this, like, kind of grin on his face. And Marcus kind of sighs and goes, yes, I'll take care of it. Don't worry, it'll be put on your tab. He says, good, getting money for me, not so easy nowadays. I'm sure you know how that feels, looking at you, Baron.
I hear you, but don't you feel kind of, weird about basically stealing bread?
He says, well, it's to feed my family. Would you steal bread to feed a starving family?
It's a good question. I guess it would depend on the circumstances.
If that isn't the most paladin answer I've ever heard. Knight in shining armor, are we?
I just look over at the pastries. They do look really good.
Vrykes kind of laughs and he says, another day, and soon I'll be able to pay you, Marcus. Just as soon as I pay Rain. And he starts walking out of the building.
Hold on there, friend. I
blocked the
block
door.
him.
Oh, okay. He says, wait. What are you doing? What do you think you're doing?
So, I just overheard you owe Rain some money.
He says, yeah. Who don't I owe money to, though? My boys own this town, don't you know? The rats?
I asked him if he heard about what happened to his friends earlier.
He said, well, I heard there was some group of adventurers that gave quite a few of my boys a little bit of trouble earlier, but I personally haven't heard from them, so I don't know if it's true.
I slyly look over at Homer and give him a slight nod.
Give who a
Homer.
slight nod. Okay?
So, I say, listen, friend. We can do this the easy way or the hard way. You owe Rain some money. I'm here to collect it. We don't want any trouble here. Just pay up now, and everything will be good.
Diplomacy check, please.
Yes.
Diplomatic immunity.
I hate you so much.
Oh, okay. As well, your words are convincing enough, but I'm not sure I believe you about you being the ones who did something to my friends now. But your words are enough. I should at least fix some of those debts. And he rummages through his bag and hands you approximately 25 gold.
I put a hand on his shoulder and say, you will pay Rain all you owe.
He says, that is all I owe.
I look at Homer and say, "What are you doing? You're fucking it up!" Okay, out of character, just
Yeah,
to
out
you
of
as a DM, is that
Yes.
all he owes? Like, does it say on the note how much he was owed?
Well, what you could do is you could perform an insight check to see if he's bluffing his ass off at you.
Okay, let's do that then. Because I couldn't
Yeah.
remember if the note actually said how much specifically to collect.
The note did not
Okay,
specify it, but it's possible that may have been all that he owed.
that's
but
my
it's
insight
also
check.
Your insight check, okay, and his bluff.
Ooh. was a
Okay,
practice
and his
roll, right?
bluff, you're not really able to tell if he's bullshitting you or not.
Hmm.
You believe he's telling the truth.
Okay. I look at Homer and say, whether or not this is all of it, this is a hefty sum, and we've done our job here.
Yep. We weren't told specific number. It's fine.
I look over... What was his name
This
again?
is-
The
dude.
guy or the guy who owns the place?
No, the dude we're talking to.
Rikus.
I look over at Rikus and say, "Enjoy your bread, sir. I hope we don't meet again."
He says, "Oh, I wouldn't worry about that, my fair knight in shining armor, because I'm sure we will." Steps out the door.
I look over at Homer and say, "That guy was creepy."
We're probably gonna have to kill that guy at some point. Whatever.
He didn't even have any pastries, did he?
Yeah, he got some pastries.
Yeah, he got some pastries and a loaf of bread.
Okay, good. I forgot.
Marcus and Jess are both kind of like aghast at what you have done. They are absolutely shocked, and they go on to explain, "You stood up to Rikus?"
I look at them and say, "Who's Rikus?"
They said, "The last people who stood up to the gang leader of the rats ended up hanging from a tree."
Oh shit! Storyline! This is so good.
Dun, dun, dun.
I look at Homer and say, "Uh-oh."
She says, "You may have crossed his boys, and he's normally... The reason that they call him the Rats is because he views his members as tools as a means to an end. Indispensable and insignificant, but can be a major pain in the neck if they're not dealt with properly.
Fucking rats.
He is the gang leader of the Rats. When he says that this isn't over, you can probably take him at his word for that. So best watch yourself around this town, friend. Or even in the surrounding areas."
Thanks for telling me this when I asked who he was.
Oh yeah. You didn't do any checks to see if she knew any other info,
No, it's fine.
though. How far
So-
ahead is Rikus from us?
Rikus, are you guys leaving the building?
Well, I wanted to
Yeah.
leave the building and see if I could see what direction he's heading in, assuming he's heading to his
You
hideout.
cannot see
So
where
he's
Rikus
gone.
is. He is definitely gone. He has hightailed it out of there.
Okay. Okay.
He's definitely not here anymore. And you have no idea what direction he possibly could have gone.
He went that way.
Right, okay. I guess I'm the one, I'm guessing, holding the thing because I talked to him, so I head back to put the money on the table at Rain's house.
At Rain's house? Okay. So, when you go back to Rain's house, you take a look at the note, and the note does say that he does need medical supplies, and that the money that you needed to collect is the one that would probably be able to help you with the money you just got back. He basically needed that money to pay for his medical treatments.
Oh, that's
and stuff.
right. Okay, so yeah. So I guess we should do a streetwise check to see if we know where the pharmacy is.
Sure, or somebody with medical knowledge that could possibly help you out.
Walgreens is always on the corner of happy and healthy.
Is there somebody with medical knowledge?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, you have like
No idea.
You do call somebody over, and you basically ask if you know of somebody who's good with bodies, and the man kind of leans in, and he says, "Are you looking for the soft spot?"
Oh my god.
No.
From being in the town for a few weeks, Bear knows that the soft spot is the name of the local brothel.
To the soft
Could
spot.
be a doctor there.
I'm sure
need some
someone at the
too.
brothel knows where it's at.
Alright, so this is a random street guy that
This is just
told
some
us this?
random. He may look a little scuzzier than your average citizen,
Sure.
so to speak.
Sure. Okay, let me do a perception check and see if maybe I can get something else out of him besides being a weird, creepy dude.
Okay.
I love crit fails, they're the best.
Oh my goodness.
So I say to him, "You know what we mean, sir. We need a pharmacist or somebody who knows how to deal with, like, healing.
Oh.
An alchemist, I guess?"
He says, "Oh, okay. Not looking for the soft spot. Shame. I was looking for a friend to go there, but perhaps another time. There's an alchemist that lives over there."
Okay, I say thank you and start heading over there.
He kind of creepily winks at you and says, "See you around," and walks off.
This is why you like being a DM.
Oh yeah, it's fun. So while you guys head over to the alchemist's place, we are gonna go ahead and go back to the inn for Torvok.
Hey,
Torvok.
I'm here.
So Torvok, you are still sitting in the room. You heard the shower go off. You begin to hear a door open. What do you do?
I turn around and say, hello.
Okay, you hear a shrill scream as a woman steps out clutching a towel to her body. She says, "Who are you and how did you get into my room?"
The door was open. I thought you were expecting me.
She says, "I don't even know who the hell you are. Who are you with?"
Isn't there something like, like a girl bluff and say, I'm here for you?
Sure, if
Hey.
you want to go ahead and do that. I mean, we
Oh,
could technically
God damn
do.
it.
Yeah, we could do bluff, sure.
Like in a, not like aggressive, like I'm gonna kill you, but like a, I'm trying to come on to you kind of way.
Well then maybe that would just be a straight off charisma check instead.
That sounds better.
Okay, so for you that's going to be a 1d20 plus 1.
Really? I only have fucking 1 charisma?
Well, because you have 0 charisma technically, and then a half level up,
Jeez.
which gives you a plus 1. So 1d20 plus 1 for charisma. So you're
Wow,
basically trying
I
to
am
hit
not
on somebody.
charismatic at all. Alright, 1d20 plus 1. Fuck!
Ooh!
I just lost 5 gold, didn't I?
Her face becomes bright red. She walks over and kind of grabs you by the scruff of your collar. And she's fairly strong. Like, she's almost kind of like got you up by the throat. And she says, "If you ever speak of what you saw in here, I will find you." And she winds up her hand.
I reach into my pocket real quick and say, I have a note from your husband.
She kind of relents a little bit, lets you down, takes the note with a one hand, mindlessly knowing the fact she does not have 3 hands, so by taking her hand, she's like holding the towel up and you with the same hand. So when she reaches for the towel, or the note, she like drops her towel.
Yes!
What do you do?
I smile and say, nice.
God damn it!
She
Son of a bitch.
winds up, and we're going to move forward just a couple of minutes as you walk down the staircase with a blazing red 5 fingers and a palm across your face. And Len is laughing his ass off at this, and he says, "Pay up!"
Yeah. I slam down 5 gold.
He says, "At least did you get anything out of it?"
I just have the biggest smile on my face and say nothing.
He continues to laugh as he takes your gold and his off of the counter.
Worth it.
We're gonna go ahead and head on back to Root. Actually, at this point, really not much left for you to do except to gather up the wood and bring it back to Rain's house. But the question is, how many trips is it going to take you? I would love an athletics check to find out.
Oh man. Son of a bitch.
Okay. It'll take you a few trips, but on the first trip back to Rain's house, you actually run into Torvok. Torvok can definitely help lessen the load, and you can go faster if he helps you.
Torvok, would you mind helping me carry this wood so we can get done faster?
What's the magic word?
Please.
Okay.
Alright, so the two of you start heading back to the forest to bring more wood to the house. Root, you notice the red mark on his face. Do you choose to say anything about it?
I don't say anything, but I do not try to hide my consistent glancing at it at all.
Okay, perception check that for me, Torvok. I want to see if you catch any of these glances.
D20 plus 2. Or I could completely screw up that command.
Okay, yeah, you're kind of oblivious to it. You're just more or less kind of in this like state of kind of obliviousness, like
Euphoria.
you know, you don't care because you kind of just saw her naked, but your face is still blazing red hot. Because
Best day ever.
she basically got you with a slap that any harder and she would have blown your ass out the door, basically. Like, have you, just kind of doing this OOC for description, have you ever seen the opening cutscene for the game Freedom Fighters?
No.
Okay, I'll have to show you it, but basically there's a bitch slap so hard that it fucking echoes, and that is basically how close she came to that. It's pretty outstanding.
Do you want me to do an athletics check, though?
For?
The wood?
Sure if you want to.
Alright. Crit,
Oh.
baby!
So, like, Root
Ooh.
grabs a few pieces of the wood, you, like, grab the rest of it and, like, man mode that shit back to Reigns.
Suck
Like,
it.
without any struggle.
Power
And-
boners.
We're gonna go ahead and run it back to to Baron and Homer. I don't have a specific map for the Alchemist, but you guys walk in there and you see the room is filled with all kinds of trinkets and gizmos, and it smells a little funny, but you also see like brewing potions and what have you, and you know, stuff like that. The Alchemist kind of greets you and says, "Welcome. How did you find my place of business?"
I just look at him and say, "It's a long story, friend." Long
He
story.
says, "Very well, but I will assume that the word of mouth was good. How can I help you?"
I nudge Homer and say, "Go on."
You're gonna get medicine for rain.
He says, well, I can possibly help you out with some of that stuff. Do you know exactly what's wrong with him?"
He's sick.
Got a limp.
So he was the one that I heard that got beaten up by the rats.
Yes.
Let me come with you. I don't want to give you something that may not even help out.
Alright, sounds good.
Alright, so he comes with you guys, and you are going to head back over to the house. And at this point, you actually do kind of, like, a couple minutes after you guys arrive, like, you guys are heading upstairs to run a check on Rain to see how he's doing, and you are going to run into Torvok and Root bringing the last of the wood into the house. So, do you choose to speak with them at all?
Nope.
Okay, so you guys
Hey,
just
guys.
go ahead. Alright then.
I still say hey, because I'm not rude.
Okay, so you and the Alchemist, which by the way I actually forgot I did have a token
Oh
for.
wait, do they notice his face?
Perception, actually, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and say yeah. Definitely notices. Yeah.
I just
We're-
look at
we're
his
gonna-
face and just wince, knowing probably what happened after meeting Torvok already.
Okay, so you
I
guys go ahead and
squint
head
and just
upstairs.
wonder.
You head upstairs, and Rain is still sleeping, and the Alchemist says, it's a little tough to tell what's going on with him, but I'm also not trained in medical, but I might be able to help in some way if I had a better idea to go on. Maybe you guys can make some heal checks to help out the Alchemist.
Heal check? Alright.
Yeah.
Is that everyone or just?
Just the two of them.
Homer? Okay.
Okay, so what do we have here? We
Hold on.
have a
I haven't done mine
19.
yet.
Okay.
Oh,
Nice.
Ooh, critical hit. So you are able to, like, you don't even need to, like, do the poke and prod, like, does this hurt, does this hurt, does this hurt sort of thing, you were able to tell that, like, in the beatings, he has a bit of a low-grade fever, which you don't think is necessarily tied to the beating that he received.
Okay.
But based on the way that he was walking, he likely has some sort of a break in his leg somewhere, so perhaps a fracture, or it may very well just be like a stress fracture or something. He also has a couple of broken ribs and a slightly dislocated shoulder.
Okay.
He's a little on the beat-up side for sure here.
So I guess I tell all of this to the alchemist dude.
He says, well, I've got some stuff that may be able to at least accelerate the healing. Wait here. And he kind of waddles down the stairs and back to his place of business. About 10 minutes later, he comes back with a pair of draughts and a belt.
Huh. Okay.
He says, okay, so here's what's going to happen. You guys have these potions. I don't think it's going to be much of a struggle to have him drink them. He's probably going to feel like hell for the next day, but he'll be back to fight and fit in no time. Probably wondering what this is for, and he holds up the belt.
Yes. I am wondering what
Potions
that's for.
don't fix dislocation, so I would advise that he bite down on it while you reinsert his shoulder.
Got it.
He kind of says, that'll be 25 gold.
I just hand him the gold.
How
That's all right.
convenient.
Have him check in with me in the next few days if he starts noticing any strange symptoms.
Alright. Thanks for the belt, I guess?
Says he can keep it. Take it as a gift in this case. And the alchemist walks out the door.
25 gold belt.
Must be a big belt.
Yeah. Okay.
So basically that's kind of what we're looking at.
Okay,
All right.
so I walk over the table, look at the note, and start crossing stuff off.
Okay. The only thing left on there, so the firewood's been brought in, the payment has been collected, you've got him the medicine, but you should probably go up and at least administer it since you have some form of medical experience, and the roses are dropped off. So the only thing left after taking care of Rain's medical ailments is cleaning the stables.
Perfect. Okay.
Not it.
So I put the note down and go up to administer all my stuff to Rain.
Okay, so he kind of wakes up and he goes, this is the worst.
Could be a lot worse. Trust me. And then I guess I say bite down on this and give him the belt.
Did you give him the draughts first?
No. So I hand them those
Okay.
and say, take this.
Says, alright. He starts drinking them. And he goes, oh, you probably got these from Dion, didn't you?
I just say, maybe, but it's about to get worse. And then-
Dion is the name of the alchemist,
Okay,
by the way.
fair enough. We never established that, I guess. We never even asked his name.
True. So he has experience with him, and he kind of says, the little dwarf alchemist man. When you so he says Dion, and I'm guessing you kind of give him like a blank stare.
He recognized the belt.
Okay. He says, what's the belt for?
You'll see in 2 seconds. So I hand it to him.
He says, I'm wearing a belt right now.
I say, put it in your mouth.
He's like, what the hell?
Trust me, put it in your mouth.
I would pay so much to see if somebody just came in at this random moment right now. So bad.
Enter Torvok.
He says, okay, kind of like puts it in his mouth.
So I prop him up. I'm guessing he was laying down, so I prop him up so he's sitting up, right?
Mm-hmm. And he kind of like goes about, what are you doing?
So I position him to crack him into place and say, this is gonna really hurt.
Heal check!
Another heal check?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This is something
no.
completely different.
His arm ends up downstairs.
Here we go.
So you attempt to, you audibly almost hear like a, like right on the belt, like that first attempt, and you are not able to put his shoulder back in its socket.
I hope you're ready for round 2. I'm doing it again.
One more time, give me another heal check. Okay, so the second time you do it, and you kind of feel like the as it like kind of like locks back in, and you just hear him just like.
There. You're all better now.
And he just like you just see him just like you kind of like he's just sitting there. So you have his shoulder back in place, but he still has the 2 draughts he needs to drink.
Those probably were pain relievers.
Okay. So I guess I take the belt out of his mouth and pour one of the draughts in his mouth.
So when you take the belt out of his mouth, like there are like indents that probably go about halfway through it.
So I rip it out of
And-
his mouth? Like, is he still
No,
fighting
no,
on
you're
it?
able to, but like
Okay.
no, you can like see, like he went ham on that belt when you worked on his shoulder, basically.
I take a look at the belt and see told you it would help.
He kind of like grimaces but nods accordingly.
Do I need to heal check pouring the draught in his mouth?
Oh no.
Okay.
You offer him the draughts and he starts drinking them.
Drown him after.
And
Things on
so
him.
the first one, he kind of says, a bit sleepy. You can tell he's fading kind of fast, so you might want to hustle on the second one.
The second draught?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I grab it so quick that you can't even see my hand move, and then I just shove it down his throat.
Okay. He goes, oh, nothing.
I just pat him
And
on the
he
head
is-
and say, sleepy time
Ow.
now, and start walking out.
Okay.
This is great.
So now he is asleep. He is going to start feeling much better in the next day or so. And what we are now actually going to do is, before you guys go in and clean the stables, we are now actually going to take our intermission.
Yay.
Okay.
So, because I do need to eat something really quick, and Hannah has tweeted that she will be here in about 15 minutes. So this gives us just enough time to kind of hang out and chat, talk D&D or whatever people want to do in chat, so to speak. And this gives me an opportunity to eat as well while we wait for her to get here, and we can pick it up when she gets here.
I'm gonna go scarf down some food too.
Yep.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we'll be back.
Yeah. I'll be
Yeah.
back.
This is not like our typical break where it's going to be like a 2 or 3 minute thing. Like this is probably going to be a more extended intermission, so to